Leading off the top of the first for Bishop State, number 17, center fielder, Jack Wolf.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. It is game number 2 of the ACCC Division II Conference Baseball Championships here at Signature Field, Choccolocco Park, Oxford, Alabama. Robert Williamson set to bring you the coverage. Opening game, a Coyote win. Coastal Alabama North knocking off Enterprise State by a final 9-5. As this one is softly hit to short. Jake Hammonds with the catch. Jet Wolf out number 1.
Now your batter is number 6, third baseman, Brandon Davis.
So one game in. Game 2 of our Thursday of baseball underway. Jet Wolf led it off. Brandon Davis batting second. Ethan Miller is the 3-hitter for a guy Kyle Hipp. 5 spot, Rashad Robinson, Reed Wilson in the 6 hole. A.J. Anderson batting 7th. Vinny Bosio is the 8-hitter, and Brody Hinton is the 9 guy. Dalton Gray getting the start on the hill for Central Alabama. Behind the plate is Jacob Smith. First baseman Brent Honecker. J-Fat Rosado is at second. Jake Hammonds at short, and the third baseman is Kelvin Ayala. Arwen Burgos in left, center fielder Bryce Knox, and the right fielder is Zach Johnson. Gorgeous day in Oxford, and according to the weather watchers, it is going to be nice all week long. So let's hope those weather watchers, who are half the time wrong, are 100% right for the next 3 or 4 days. 2 gone as Brandon Davis will strike out.
Goes down on strikes. Out 2. Now your batter's number 13, catcher.
2 gone for Ethan Miller. 78 degrees, could warm to 79. Feels like 77. Visibility 24 miles, humidity 41%. West-northwest winds at 4, gusting to 9. UV index is 2 and low. Air quality is 40 and good. Sun will set at 7:22, and the moon will rise at 9:22, just in case you're interested. If this game is as long as the opening game, we might be here at sunset. 2 out, Ethan Miller, base hit.
On the hit. That brings up number 10, your second baseman, Kyle Hipp.
Base runner aboard for Kyle Hipp. Rashad Robinson to the on-deck circle. So Ethan Miller will get on. When you speak of a Miller and Bishop State, you got to bring up Gage Miller. No relation between Gage and Ethan. But what a heck of a year Gage Miller has got underway at the University of Alabama. Leads the team in home runs, in RBIs, in batting average, in total bases. And I know about 31 games into his career in Alabama, he had gotten on in every game. I don't know if that string is snapped yet or not. But yep, that's a Bishop State product, as obviously is Ethan Miller, the guy over at first with 2 gone. Kyle Hipp awaiting the 0-2. Rashad Robinson is on deck. Win, and you got the number 2 team in the conference, LBW, tomorrow afternoon at 1. Lose, and you play at 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon against the loser of the Wallace Dothan Coastal Alabama North game, and you are on the brink of elimination. Tomorrow's 4 and 7 o'clock games will eliminate teams, and this field of 6 will be down to 4. Swing and a miss. Out will go Hip.
Hip goes out on strikes.
One hit, one stranded. Nobody scores. We go to the bottom of the first.
Leading off the bottom of the first for Central Alabama, number 12, third baseman Kevin A. Ah.
Bottom of the first, Kevin Ayala leading it off. Jake Hammonds is the two hitter. Zach Johnson hitting third. Jacob Smith in the four spot. Arwin Burgos is the five hitter. Brent Honecker batting sixth. J-Fat Rosado is the seven guy. Bryce Knox hitting eighth. And Braxton Piper in the nine hole for Central Alabama. That's a fair ball. It sneaks between the mitt of third baseman Brandon Davis and the chalk line. Ayala with a double to start things off for the Trojans.
That brings up shortstop number one, Jake Hammonds.
Jake Hammonds to the plate with a base runner at second. Hayden O'Dell getting the start on the hill for Bishop State. Behind the plate is Ethan Miller, first baseman Brody Hinton. At second, Kyle Hip. The shortstop is A.J. Anderson. And Brandon Davis is at third. Outfield of Vinny Bosio and left center fielder Jet Wolf. And the right fielder is Rashad Robinson. Did a little umpire shifting, and then maybe because the ACCC typically uses a couple of guys, not three. So you've got an entire year of doing things one way with two umps and a little different with three. So the umpires now where they're supposed to be, and Jake Hammonds taking a pitch high from O'Dale. Central Alabama coming in as the three. And really, if, again, my feeble memory is working correctly for me, LBW has got Enterprise State to thank for they being the two and not Central Alabama. Enterprise State beat Bevel State. Somehow that played into the situation. And then, of course, I think Coastal North knocked off Central Alabama to kind of position Central Alabama away from the two and move them to the three. which is big in a tournament like this. It gives you a bye, a game all. So you save a little pitching. 3-2 the count on Hammonds. But I think it was that combination that actually, about 2 or 3 days before the end of the year in regular season, gave LBW the 2 spot, Central Alabama the 3. And out time is asked for by Jake Hammonds. Gorgeous day, great temperatures, beautiful diamond here at Choccolocco Park in Oxford, Alabama, which is continuing to grow. I see just across from the entrance into the park here, another hotel going up. 3-2 pitch. Out will go Hammonds.
Hammonds goes down on strike.
Odell getting his first K.
Right fielder, number 15, Zach Johnson.
So on away with Zach Johnson to the plate. Jacob Smith to the on-deck circle on the outside part of the plate from Odell. Got some softball going on in Milledgeville, Georgia. Georgia Military has just knocked off East Georgia 5-2 in the first of 2. Jason Thompson on the call there. That's significant for Georgia Military because they need to win both games today to be the 1 seed going into the postseason tournament on the, I think it is the 3rd and 4th maybe of May. 1-1 pitch. Chopped over towards short. Anderson's got it. Long throw. On is Johnson while Ayala goes to 3rd.
Now your batter's number 10, catcher, Jacob Smith.
So a couple of base runners on. Infield single. We're doing a consensus up in the box, and we've got a single for Johnson. It's going to be tough to get him, period. High a little bit high. The throw a little bit high. Over to 3rd and able to get back safely is Ayala after Johnson steals 2nd. But it will be a Johnson base hit. A couple of hits for Central Alabama. Jacob Smith now with 2 RBI chances. Johnson at 2nd and Ayala at 3rd. That got the inside part of the plate on Smith. A couple of big games today. Well, actually 3 when you consider these are obviously huge games. Got Snead State taking on Coastal Alabama South in Bay Minette. Snead State wins the opening game, so the Coyotes certainly want to take game number 2 and just keep that top of Division I all bunched up between Shelton State, Snead State, and Coastal South. And by the way, Dallas Renzi on the call in Bay Minette. Boy, this is how things are these days. I'm not sure who's where. Thought it was Kamari working Bay Minette. It's Dallas working Bay Minette today. Outside with a pitch and a walk to Jacob Smith, loads it up.
Walk and loads the bases with number 4, Arwin Burgos.
Arwin Burgos coming to the plate. Brent Honecker to the on-deck circle. Trojans loaded up in the bottom of the 1st. Burgos 23 RBIs this year. 315 hitter with 1 home run. 1 triple, 11 doubles. 13 extra base hits of his 47 total. Over it goes to Davis, comes home with the throw, gets the force out there. Miller was pulling it out of the mitt to make a throw when it was dropped, so that will count as a 5-2 putout.
Ayala is out at home. Now your batter's number 27 from Calhoun County.
Still loaded, but now 2 gone.
Brent Honecker.
And Brent Honecker coming to the plate. We had a chance to see Central Alabama this year against LSUE in a single 9-inning game that went an extra inning. I think it went 10. And LSU won it by 1. And of course, LSU Eunice, a perennial power in Division II baseball. Shot over towards right field. In to make the catch is Rashad Robinson. Robinson covers a lot of ground in right field, able to get to it and leave the bases loaded. 1 inning in, we're scoreless.
University of Alabama Online, where legends log in. A tradition of excellence. Decades of experience in distance learning. Empowering students of all ages. More than 90 degree and certificate programs to advance your career. UA Online. Flexible, affordable, legendary. Let your computer be your campus. Visit online.ua.edu.
Leading off the top of the second for the Wildcats, number 42, right fielder, Rashad Robinson.
Top of the second, Rashad Robinson, first pitch towards right field. And coming over near the foul line to make the catch is Zach Johnson.
Johnson on the catch for out 1.
1 away, Reed Wilson next.
Hitter, number 9, Reed Wilson.
And of course, throughout the year, we had the privilege of bringing you all of the home conference games for Bishop State. So we've had multiple opportunities to see this squad, which often uses this guy at first, but he is the DH only. And Brody Hinton playing first in the opening game for the Wildcats and the Trojans in the D2 tournament. 1-0 pitch to Wilson. A.J. Anderson on deck. Right up the middle. Second hit of the game for the Wildcats, and Wilson on with a 1-out single.
Brings up number 2, shortstop, A.J. Johnson.
A.J. Anderson coming to the plate. Vinny Bazio to the on-deck circle. Got a base runner at first. Anderson showing fine, but pulls back. 114 plate appearances this year for Anderson. 307 hitter. 1 triple, 6 doubles, 20 RBIs. That will be lifted out of play. .35 hits, which is tied for number 2 on the team. Brandon Davis, the team leader, with a total of 48. Glance over to first from Dalton Gray to give a look to Reed Wilson. Wilson has 5 stolen bases this year. Has not been caught. Dalton Gray, 50 innings of work for Central Alabama. Every one of his appearances has been as a starter. 3 and 4 with 2 complete games. 55 hits, given up 37 runs, 21 earned, 19 walks, and 53 strikeouts. Has allowed a single home run, a .378 ERA. Two-two pitch. Big lead by Wilson. Swing and a miss, and Anderson out number 2.
Now you batters number 3, left fielder Vinny Basio.
Three strikeouts now in the game for Dalton Gray. And when you look at the individual leaders, he is number 3 in the conference. With those 53 coming in, 56 now. Low and away with a pitch to Vinny Basio. Brody Hinton moving to the on-deck circle. Top strikeout guys, Middleton and Wallace Dothan with 74. And the number 2 guy, Jordan, is a governor as well. 2-0 on Basio, bottom third of the order, coming to the plate in the bottom of the second for Central Alabama. Rosado, Knox, and Piper. When you get to the bottom part of inning number 2. Two and one. Basio, a .287 hitter on the year. 8 doubles, 17 RBIs. Two-one Dalton Gray pitch, and the count goes 2-2. We are getting a clearer picture of tomorrow, 10 a.m., Wallace Dothan and Coastal North. LBW at 1 against the winner of this one. And we know Enterprise State is playing in the 7 o'clock game tomorrow night. Neither one of these teams wants to be playing at 4, but one of them will. Loser of this one, playing at 4 tomorrow. But they won't know who their opponent is until the Wallace Dothan Coastal North game wraps up. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 gone, base runner at first. That was close, but a little bit outside. Tomorrow, the busiest game. I make that the busiest day of games. You got 4 total. 10, 1, 4, and 7. Then you got a 3-game Saturday and a 1 or 2 game Sunday. 3-2 pitch. Low and away. Walked as Basio, and a couple of Wildcats are on.
Now your batters number 12.
That will be the first Dalton Gray walk of the game. bottom of the order, followed by the top of the order, Brody Hinton and Jet Wolf. High with the first pitch to Hinton. Hinton has only had 58 plate appearances this season. A 155 hitter. Did play as a starter at first in the final game of the regular season for Bishop State. Going 0 for 1, hit by a pitch and walking. 1-1 Dalton Gray pitch. Already starting to look like the first game in leaving runners aboard. First game saw a total of 24 left on. 14 by the Coyotes and 10 by Enterprise State. Hinton will strike out. That is K number 4 for Dalton Gray. We go to the bottom of the second in a scoreless game.
Sports fans, we pack stadiums, arenas, and local gyms every day. And every sports fan is uniquely human. Seeing each play with your own eyes, triggering your own emotions. And as humans, we won't agree on every call, but we can act with empathy and consideration. So put yourself in the official shoes. Be more than a fan. Be officially human.
And don't forget to follow us, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. And there is a good possibility you're watching the game on YouTube. That's our media player on the website. Now, if you're watching through the ACCC website, you're not watching it on YouTube. But if you're watching it through our website, you are. So that means there's a subscription button nearby. Rosado hitting it to second, flipped over by Hip for the out on the 4-3.
95 center fielder, number 23, Bryce Knox.
Either way, we'd love to have you as a subscriber. So if you see a subscribe button, if you don't mind, click on it. If you don't, when you get a chance, go to YouTube and put JockJive Sports in the search engine. Bryce and Braxton, Knox and Piper, 8 and 9 in the order to the plate in the bottom of the second. On the outside part of the plate to Knox. Outside, 2-1. A scoreless first and second for the Wildcats. Trojans loaded it up in the first. Win scoreless, have one away here in the second. Inside with the pitch. 3 balls, couple of strikes. Here's the payoff. It's outside, and Knox is given a walk.
Knox draws the walk. Now your batter's designated hitter, number 14, Braxton Piper.
The DH of the 9-hitter, Braxton Piper, to the plate with a base runner on. Here in the bottom of the second. Third inning for the Wildcats starts with the top of the order, Jet Wolf. Central Alabama, though, in no hurry to get to inning number 3. They'd like to spend a little more time here in the bottom part of the second. Bottom of the order, Braxton Piper. Outside with a pitch. Hayden O'Dell, 34 innings of work. It's his 6th start. He's had about 10 games in which he appeared out of the pen. 2 complete games out of the 5 started, 2 and 3 overall. And also has a save to his credit. 34 hits given up, 23 runs, 13 earned. And I got another base runner on. And out, and then 2 aboard. Kevin Ayala coming to the plate. And Hayden O'Dell getting a visit. O'Dell, 20 walks, 38 strikeouts, hasn't allowed the long ball. 3.44 ERA. And O'Dell getting a visitor from the dugout, the Mobile, Alabama product. You look at the roster for Bishop State, and obviously a lot of great baseball has come out of Mobile. I mean, you can think of the names of Hank Aaron, Satchel Paige, just to mention a handful. Even Ozzie Smith, I think, was born there and didn't spend much time in Mobile, but was born in the port city. So a lot of great baseball there. And thus a lot of Wildcats that hail from Mobile. Hayden O'Dell, one of those. Little inside with a pitch to the leadoff guy, Kelvin Ayala. Ayala with a double in the first. One of the 2 Trojan base hits. Looking at the Bishop State roster, Mobile, Demopolis, Grove Hill, Bay Minette, Satsuma, Spanish Ford, Bessemer, all mentioned in Alabama. Got some Mississippi guys, a North Carolina guy. A few from my hometown of Crestview, Shoemaker, Dulce. That is sliced foul by Ayala. Larry Thomas and the Trojans. A lot of Central Alabama products. Roanoke, Sylacauga, Salem, Holtville, Moody, Ohatchee, Fort Payne, Smith Station, Munford. Swing and a miss. Ayala goes down. Out number 2 and strikeout number 2 for Hayden O'Dell.
Shortstop, Jake Hammond.
2 gone for Jake Hammond. But then you got some Tennessee, some Georgia, some Texas mixed in on the Central Alabama roster. That's, well, I thought it was good. It is a base hit of the infield variety, but what a play by A.J. Anderson. Anderson kept that from being a run driving in base hit. If it gets past Anderson, Knox scores. Hammond's on with a single, and the bases loaded for the 2nd consecutive inning. Wildcats wondering if they can get out of this jam again. And they will at first. Hip took a look at Anderson at second and said, man, I can't get it there in time to get Hammonds, but I can get it to first to get Johnson.
And we go to the top of the third. It's 0-0.
So the Wildcats dodge another bases loaded bullet.
Laying off the top of the third for Bishop State, number 17, Jet Wolf.
Top of the third, top of the order. Jet Wolf starts it. He lined out softly to short in the first. Back to the plate in the third. Brandon Davis, Ethan Miller due up in the inning two. Through 2 innings, Central Alabama has stranded 6. That is a base hit leadoff shot. Rolls into the corner, able to get to it as Burgos, but not before Wolf pulls into second with a leadoff double. Base runner in scoring position for Brandon Davis. Well, you know, if you strand 3 per inning, you leave 27 on in a game. I wonder how much or how many is the record. I have to look that up. Men left on base in JCAA. May not keep those records, but I got a feeling Major League Baseball does. Brandon Davis struck out in the first. Ethan Miller moving to the on-deck circle. That is popped up by Davis over to Warren's left. And there to make the catch is Burgos. Davis will fly out.
On the catch for the out. Now your batter's number 13, Ethan Miller.
Well, the record for the most runners left on base in Major League Baseball history happened in '94 when 16 were left on. That is ripped foul in the direction of left field. Well, you know where I'm going next, right? College. Nothing in one, the count on Ethan Miller. One ball, one strike. Miller with a single in the first. Over towards the third base coach and out of play. One ball, couple of strikes on Miller. Ethan Miller, a .354 hitter on the year, 1 home run, 19 RBIs. Trying to either move Wolf in or along. His preference, get him in. Worst case for Miller, get him to third. Trojans would love to leave Wolf at second and take care of Miller and face Kyle Hipp. 1-2 pitch. That is floated towards left field. Burgos, diving catch in foul territory. Got the out. What a play by Burgos. And the Trojans are an out away from stranding the leadoff guy who got aboard with a double. Kyle Hipp struck out in the first. One of 4 Ks in the game for Gray, who had 2 in the first, 2 in the second. Got the inside part of the plate. Inching towards 60 Ks on the year, 57 now for Dalton Gray. Smith, Burgos, and Honecker, 4, 5, and 6 in the Trojan order when you get to the bottom of the third. Outside with the pitch to another 300-plus hitter, 324. Both teams in the opening game hit 300 as a team. Bishop State a 303 hitting Wildcat squad. One pitch. A little bit low to Kyle Hipp. Second of 2 games on a Thursday. We'll have 4 for you tomorrow starting at 10 a.m. We'll get here early and go late. Popped up. Is it problematic? Doesn't appear so. The body language of Zach Johnson appeared to suggest, hey, I've got this one. He does. And that leadoff double is wasted.
You've played some travel ball, you've shared the videos. Mom and Dad can only root so much. It's time to get real interest from the colleges and scouts in your area, right where you live. That's why the Showcase Series is different. We're not just another tournament, we're an advancement event where you get real-time exposure with live TV coverage of our games that get you seen directly by the coaches you want to impress from anywhere in the world. Register for events at showcaseseries.org. It's your turn at bat.
For the Trojans, number 10, catcher, Jacob Smith.
And don't forget, want to watch the game later? That is not an issue. Go to the website. There is a link there to click and watch later. For a subscription fee, it's itty-bitty, it's teeny-tiny. And it's for a year of watching anything on JockJive. By the way, there is no cost to watch the live. I did get an email where I think handful of folks logging in and paying to watch. I mean, we appreciate that, but don't have to. Live coverage is free on JockJive. And on the ACCC athletics.com website. Little check swing from Jacob Smith. Arwen Burgos and Brent Honecker due up in the inning, too. 3-1 pitch. Anderson. A little tall with a toss. How about way tall? And just a really nice stop. And then a not particularly nice throw. And an E6 has got Smith on.
Number 4, Arwen Burgos.
It's been a couple of tosses high from Anderson. This one resulting in an error. Got that adrenaline flowing. Arwen Burgos ground into the 5-2. Down to first with a throw. Got him! Trying to reach that hand over the tag of Brody Hinton. And Jacob Smith tagged down A.J. Anderson, the happiest of Wildcat campers. And Ethan Miller throwing out Smith. Arwen Burgos now back into the box with nobody aboard and one away. Couple of strikes on Burgos. A .315 hitter with a triple, a home run, 23 RBIs. A little low with the pitch. This is not a guy that strikes out a lot. 17 in 149 plate appearances. 2-2 pitch. That is fouled towards third. Larry Thomas, Central Alabama head coach, making a nice stop on the bouncer over towards the coach's box. Of course, he's got a little minor and Major League Baseball behind him. I think he can probably do a good job at fielding grounders, the left-handed pitcher. Count even at 2 on Burgos. Just a little bit low. Full count at 3-2. Pitcher strikeout comparisons. Gray with 4, Odell with 2. And there's a base hit into left field.
Burgos on the hit. Now your batter's number 27, first baseman, Brent Honecker.
Brent Honecker coming to the plate. A 266 hitter. 32 RBIs, tied for the team lead. He and Jacob Smith, both with 32 each. Honecker with a fly out to right field. He was the last out in the first inning. Odell saw Miller pick off a runner at first earlier, going, hey, let me give it a shot. Sends it over. Burgos able to get back safely. Burgos 5 stolen bases. He's been caught 3 times. Count evens at 1 on Honecker. Honecker and Ohatchee, Alabama product. Couple of strikes on Honecker. J-Fat Rosado is on deck. One to Odell pitch, instead over to first, and Burgos again getting back safely. That is popped up in the direction of right. Robinson not able to get there. Drops about a yardstick away. Several finals in the majors. Brewers beat the Pirates 7-5. Guardians 6-4 over the Red Sox. Twins beat the White Sox 6-3. Phillies 5-zip over the Reds. Cubs 3-1 over the Astros. Mariners beat the Rangers 4-3. Rockies 10-9 over the Padres. And a couple of games going on. One actually is not, but should be. It's in a rain delay. Chopped over towards hip, dives. Can he make the throw to get the out? Nope. Runners at second and third.
Honecker on the hit. Now your batter's number 9, second baseman, David Rosado.
So Burgos to third, Honecker takes second. That will be credited as a base hit. Honecker getting on with a single. And that will be fouled out of play. J-Fat Rosado ground into a 4-3. He was the first out in the second inning. Hip conceding the run, goes over to first. 4-3 goes the putout. And an RBI as Burgos will come in to score. Honecker goes to third. And Rosado will pick up the RBI. It'll be his 24th of the year. So a productive out for the Trojans. And that is hit pretty well by Bryce Knox. Out of the park well. 2-run shot. Bryce Knox out to a 3-run lead.
That brings up number 14, designated hitter, Braxton Piper.
Braxton Piper fouls that pitch away. Knox hadn't hit one all year long. Picked the right time for his first. Makes it a 3-zip ball game. And the Knox RBI total now at 11 on the round tripper. One-two count on Piper, who walked in the second. And there's strike 3 on the inside part of the plate. 3 runs will plate, though. 2 off the Knox home run. Trojans by 3 going to the 4th. Just about all White Jones County. Diving catch at shortstop. Gross. Towards the gap. Diving catch in center field by Ben Aklinski. There is a shot towards deep short. Kraft's got it. Long throw over, and he got it.
Leading off the top of the 4th, for Bishop State, right fielder, number 42, Rashad Robinson.
Top of the 4th, Rashad Robinson starts it. Reed Wilson and A.J. Anderson due up in the inning, too. Trojans get an RBI on a 4-3 put out by Rosado and then get one knocked out by Knox. 2-run shot, and the Trojans by 3. After 3 as we go to the 4th. 1 hour into the game, fouled away by Robinson. Reed Wilson on deck. Robinson popped out to right field in the second. Oxford, Alabama for the conference tournament. I believe this is the 3rd year now that the ACCC has been here. Rolled to gray but foul. And it's a park that hosts a heck of a lot of baseball and softball, as a matter of fact. To my right, the softball field, which starting in about a week, will host the Gulf South Conference softball championships. And, of course, the baseball will be played right here. That's a base wrap in towards the gap. Robinson drops it, lets it roll all the way to the fence. Robinson saying, heck, why put on the brakes? Heads to third. He'll get there safely with a leadoff triple. Rashad Robinson, leadoff 3-bagger. His 2nd triple of the year. And that potential first run of the game for Bishop State, 90 feet away. Reed Wilson, who singled in the second, coming to the plate. One-0 pitch. That is a high, well-hit ball, deep enough to bring in the run. On the warning track in right field. Catch made by Zach Johnson. Reed Wilson will pick up the RBI, bringing in Robinson on the sack. RBI number 21 for Wilson. Run scored number 31 for Robinson. One out for A.J. Anderson. Anderson struck out in the second, back to the plate in the fourth. Top of the order in the bottom of the inning for Central Alabama. One pitch, around the second. And Rosado will go to first to get Anderson on the 4-3.
Route 2. Now you got his left fielder number 3, Vinny Basio.
Vinny Basio to the plate. Basio with a walk in the second. Brody Hinton moves to the on-deck circle. Dalton Gray's offering, it is on the outside part of the plate for strike one. Ayala, Hammonds, and Johnson in the home half of the fourth for Central Alabama. 3 and a 6 battling. 3 seed, 6 seed. That is a base hit. 2 out, Vinny Basio single.
Vinny on the single. Now you've got his first baseman, number 12, Brody Hinton.
Brody Hinton coming to the plate. Got a base runner at first. Brody Hinton struck out in the second. That was the last K for Dalton Gray. He had 4 strikeouts in the first 9 at-bats. No strikeouts in the next 8. Top of the order, Jet Wolf on deck. And it is 0-2 on Hinton. A little beyond the 1 hour mark here in the bottom. Make that the top of the fourth. Opening game was a 2 hour, 59-minute affair. Hinton will go down on strikes. 5th strikeout of the game for Dalton Gray. Wildcats get on the board, though. 2 hits, 1 run, 1 stranded in a 3-1 game headed to the bottom of the fourth.
In 1995, the Alabama Baseball Coaches Association has held its annual Coaches Convention, where up to 450 high school and college coaches gather to learn more about their craft from some of the best coaches in Alabama and the country. The annual awards banquet is also held during the convention, where standout high school and college players and coaches from the past season are honored for their success. The banquet's highlight occurs when the new Hall of Fame class is inducted and the Distinguished Service Award recipient is honored.
off the bottom of the fourth. On the Trojans, number 12, third baseman Kevin Ayala.
Top of the order in the bottom of the fourth, Kelvin Ayala will start it off. Jake Hammond, Zach Johnson due up in the inning 2. Central Alabama, 3 runs in the bottom of the third. Wildcats get on the board in the top of the fourth. And in the event you did not know, opening game, a 9-5 Coastal Alabama North win over Enterprise State. It went on the final, by the way, or not a final, but game in progress. He's got a base hit to lead things off for Ayala. His second hit of the game.
Ayala on the hit. And that brings up number 1 shortstop, Jake.
Dodgers with a 2-1 lead over the Nationals. That's with 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth. So that game just about done. Let me check and see if Bryce Harper played today, by the way. You know, he's been out because his wife is on, well, he's on maternity leave. His wife about to have a baby. Yep, he was back. The bunt. And laid over at first. I'm not sure what Odell was. Well, Odell was thinking about second. I'm pretty sure about that. But it was his thinking about second that kind of put his brain on pause and going to first. It was just slow getting over to first and on his Hammonds. So a couple of base runners are on. Zach Johnson stepping in. Johnson with a single and a ground into a 4-3. Bunt and foul in the direction of third by Johnson. Yeah, Bryce Harper coming back, you know, for the birth of his son. Celebrated with a home run tonight. 5th of the year and drove in 2. RBIs 15 and 16. And why the interest in Harper? Well, he was a JUCO product. Played 1 year at Southern Nevada. And as a matter of fact, played in Grand Junction, Colorado for Southern Nevada. Inside with a pitch to Zach Johnson. And as a matter of fact, we did those games when Bryce Harper was playing in Colorado. And his final at-bat at the junior college level, an ejection. Drew a line in the sand on a called strike 3, indicating where he thought the ball was outside of the strike zone, and that got him tossed. And that's how his junior college career came to an end. 1-2 on Zach Johnson. Outside with the pitch. Johnson had a single in the first, ground into a 4-3 in the third. Jacob Smith is on deck. Couple of base runners aboard. Nobody out on the bottom of the fourth. That is chopped foul. Not too awful far from a Thursday afternoon turning into a Thursday night here in Oxford, Alabama. 2-2 pitch. Chopped over towards Davis. Fields at third, whips at first. Gets the out, but the runners move up. Ayala to third and Hammonds to second. Jacob Smith with a walk and reached on an error. Arwen Burgos to the on-deck circle. Trojans trying to get back the run given up in the top part of the inning. Wildcats trying to keep it a 2-run game. Still got baseball going on in Bay Minette and softball going on in Milledgeville, Georgia. Looks like in Georgia, 2-1 East, make that Georgia Military College with a 2-1 lead over East Georgia State in the third. That's the second of 2 there. And bottom of the third in Bay Minette, with Coastal Alabama South on top of Snead State 6-5. Three pitches missing to Jacob Smith. One of the top RBI producers on the team. Jacob Smith with 32, Brent Honecker with 32. Lifted towards Robinson in right. He'll make the catch. Tagging is Ayala. And now Jacob Smith has got that RBI lead all to himself with 33. On the sac fly to right field.
Now you batters number 4, left fielder Arwen Burgos.
Hammonds tags and goes to third. Lights on here at Chakalaka Signature Field as Arwen Burgos comes to the plate. 1-0 pitch from Odell. That's a base hit. Burgos will drive in Hammonds.
Burgos on the hit, drives in Hammonds. Now your batter number 27, first baseman Brent Honecker.
Central Alabama grabbing their largest lead of the game at 4. Brent Honecker 1 for 2 in the game. Swats at the first Odell pitch. Batting .266 on the year. 12 extra base hits, 7 doubles, a triple, and 4 home runs. Davis backs up, mishandles. That'll be charged as an E5. And you got a couple of base runners on for Jacob Rosado.
Now your batter's number 9, Jacob Rosado.
So a couple of base runners on, Rosado to the plate. 280 hitter, 2 home runs, 23 RBIs. Hit over towards Hip. Hip will drop it. Anderson will pick it up, and he'll reach around and tag out the runner. Wow, that almost turned into an E4, but Anderson, a little pick-me-up for his teammate. And Rosado will ground into the unassisted putout at short. 2 runs in, the lead goes to 4 as we head to the 5th.
Leading on the top of the fifth, all the Wildcats, number 17, Jet Wolf.
Top of the fifth, top of the order, Jet Wolf will start it for the Wildcats. Brandon Davis and Ethan Miller due up in the inning two. Two Trojan runs in the bottom of the fourth. Turn it into a 5-1 game here in the fifth. Wolf is lined out to short and doubled on the inside part of the plate. Of course, we're only a couple of games into the day, but we haven't had a starting pitcher, go beyond the fifth. Hit by the pitch is Wolf.
And that brings up number 6, Brandon Davis.
In that opening game, Coastal North starting pitcher Trevor Allen worked into the fifth, but didn't get out of the fifth. He worked a third into the fifth. And then the starting pitcher for Enterprise State, Domkowski, was lifted in the third. So if you are Gray and you make it through the fifth, you do something nobody's done yet, though very early in the tournament. On the outside part of the plate to Davis. Davis 0 for 2 in the game. Strikeout and a flyout. Ethan Miller on deck. But outside with the pitch, 2-1. A lot of stuff going on here in the Oxford area, by the way, not just sports. But there is obviously a heavy emphasis on sports with Chakalaka. That's muscled over into left field, base hit. A couple of base runners on for the Wildcats.
Number 14, catcher Ethan Miller.
And if you're the Wildcats, if you can get a couple of runs out of the top part of the fifth, make it a 2-run ball game, you're comfortable. I mean, granted, you'd love to tie it up, you take the lead. That would be your preference, but if you can just chip away this advantage and trim it to a couple. Ethan Miller 1 for 2 in the game. A single and a flyout. A little wide of the strike zone to Miller. Kyle Hipp is on deck. A little bit outside of the strike zone with the pitch. In addition to this tournament, you got the Gulf South Conference and their baseball coming up. You got the D1 in the ACCC coming up. And then after that, you got state championship high school baseball coming here. And as I mentioned, I know at their Civic Center, a lot of recognizable talent. At least I recognize, from my era. Boz Skaggs, Little River Band, Crystal Gale. On the inside part of the plate. So a lot going on here in Oxford. Inside with the pitch, Miller's walk to the bases are loaded with cats.
Here comes the walk, and
Kyle Hipp coming to the plate. Larry Thomas going out to have a conversation with Gray. And Gray was thinking, hey, I think I got a chance to be the first this weekend to get through the fifth. Not so sure now with the bases loaded and nobody gone. And you know what the odds are when the bases are loaded and nobody's out. Odds in your favor to at least get a run in. It's not a guarantee. And you can beat the odds, but odds favor you. Kyle Hipp 0 for 2 in the game. He struck out and popped out. Talking about concerts coming here. The Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. I didn't realize they were on their farewell tour. You know, the Mr. Bojangles Band. They're here this weekend, 28. Popped up by Hipp in center field. Bryce Knox the catch. And now caught in a rundown is Brandon Davis. He'll get tagged out. And now the appeal to see if he left early. He didn't. But that's not what the Wildcats were hoping for, a run and 2 outs. They wanted a run with 1 out. But instead, 2 gone and a base runner at first. Dropped into the strike zone on Rashad Robinson, who is 1 for 2 in the game. He's popped out and tripled. One ball, 1 strike. So the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band calling it quits. The Oak Ridge Boys, their farewell tour underway. Foreigner is on their last tour. Kiss just wrapped it up. All for my era. I think that is an indication I may be getting a little old. Robinson pops it up to first. Heinecker the catch. Wildcats were hoping for more. Central Alabama minimizes the damage as we head to the bottom of the 5th.
Sports fans, we cheer on our favorite teams at fields, gyms, arenas, and stadiums. But have you ever wondered what it's like to be a referee? Verbal abuse from fans, parents, and coaches is the #1 reason why many referees are walking away. And they're not being replaced quickly enough by new ones. So put yourself in the official shoes, act with respect, and be officially human.
pitcher for Bishop State, number 15, Cooper Ward. Leading off the bottom of the 5th inning, for the Trojans, number 23, center fielder, Bryce Knox.
The new pitcher is Cooper Ward. Anderson. Well, he can get to some stuff a lot of people cannot get to. Still an infield single for Bryce Knox, though. And Braxton Piper will come to the plate with a base runner on. Still working on the Odell numbers for you. Faced 25 in his 4 innings of work. Struck out 3 and walked 3. Gave up a total of 8 hits and allowed 5 runs. So those are your Hayden Odell numbers. 4 innings, 25 faced, 3 each. Strikeouts and walks, 8 hits and 5 runs. Hands it over to Ward. Ward gives up the single to Knox, now facing Piper. Cooper Ward making his 11th appearance of the year. Most of those out of the pen. Does have a couple of regular season starts. 2-2. Worked 17 2/3 innings. 19 hits given up, 20 runs, 15 earned. 10 walks and 14 strikeouts. Has allowed 3 home runs. ERA of 7.64. One ball, couple of strikes on Piper, who has walked and struck out. Both of those facing Odell, now facing Ward. Popped up into the bullpen. Yeah, we're talking about on the Bishop State side of the diamond. Home team here, housed in the third base dugout. Visiting team at first. There's a base wrap for Piper. Back-to-back singles and a couple of Trojans on.
Piper on the hit. Brings us back to the top of the lineup. Number 12, Kevin Ayala.
Calvin Ayala coming to the plate. He has doubled, struck out, and singled innings 1, 2, and 4. Well, I'm not sure what hitting-handed Ward. I guess maybe it was some of the pitches. He stuck it in his cap. Typically, that kind of information is on a band on the wrist. Bunted back to Ward, charges in fields, goes to first. Gets the out of Ayala, but he's done his job, sacrificing Knox and Piper 90 feet further.
Now batting for the Trojans, number 1, shortstop, Jake Hammonds.
One out for Jake Hammonds. Hammonds has struck out, singled, and reached on a fielder's choice. He has scored a run. Zach Johnson to the on-deck circle. Bishop stayed in the 6th. We'll start with their 6th spot, Reed Wilson. Two hits in the inning for the Trojans, 10 total. We've seen hits today. In that first game, we had a total of 26. In this one, we've seen a total of 14, and we've still got about half of the game to go. One away, couple of base runners in scoring position. Zach Johnson batting .352 this year, 24 RBIs. Leads the team in doubles with 14. On the inside part of the plate. Hammond shaking his head. Yep, I think that was a pitch he would love to have swung on and kind of kicked himself for not. 2-2 pitch from Ward. That is foul by about a foot and a half. Knox and Piper with singles to begin the inning. Ayala with a sacrifice. And we're going to hold up play until that baseball, which is now at the base of the fence, in foul territory, and right is retrieved. It is gotten, and we're back to the baseball. Two offering, fouled back, and it stays 2-2. Hammond's a Sylacauga, Alabama product. Just a hop, skip, and a jump down the road. Awaiting the 2-2 pitch from Cooper Ward, in for Hayden O'Dell. And this little duel between Hammonds and Ward continuing. At the 90-minute mark, by the way, an hour 35 into this ball game. 2-2 pitch. Too low, too far outside, and the count runs full. Here's the payoff pitch to Hammonds. I think last year when we got here for the baseball, it was like the Ohio Valley Conference doing their softball over on the adjoining field. But of course, when we got here last year, it was later in the year. It was in May. This year, with the two divisions in the ACCC and two conference tournaments. What a job by Davis. Able to hop up, just the wherewithal by Davis to know that he didn't have a chance to get Knox and still able to hop up and take out Hammonds. Sheer athleticism turns it into 2 gone with still 2 on. Zach Johnson 1 for 3. A single and a couple of ground outs. Jacob Smith on deck. One offering. Into the strike zone, 1-2. And Cooper Ward, if he can get Johnson, will get out of the inning unscathed, despite the fact you had a couple of base runners in scoring position with one away after the sacrifice by Ayala. Popped up in the direction of center field. Jet Wolf drifting back. He'll make the catch. And 2 are left on. That is 10 already stranded by the Trojans.
Sitting up the top of the 6th for Bishop State, number 9, designated hitter, Reed Wilson.
Top of the 6th gets underway, and Reed Wilson will start, and A.J. Anderson and Vinny Bazio due up in the inning 2. But to go he did on the first pitch from Dalton Gray, who becomes the longest tenured pitcher of the day, working his way into the 6th. Hey, you notice something different about the scoreboard? It has a text shout-out number. All 6th inning long. And I know you can shout out on YouTube, but during the 6th inning, you can do that anytime, by the way. But during the 6th inning, we take your text shout-outs to 334-488-1385, 334-488-1385. And here's what we're looking for in your shout-outs. Who's it to? Who's it from? What is it? I mean, you got to have something mixed in. It's got to be a shout-out. It can't be just to and from and then, you know, no body, no message. Stays 1-2 on Wilson. And we're looking for a little extra stuff, too, like where you're watching the game from. Got a little watch party going on. Hey, snap a picture. Send it to. All of that to 334-488-1385, and all 6th inning long, which is now shorter because of the first out.
Now you've got a shortstop, number 2, A.J. Anderson.
One out for A.J. Anderson. Trying to remember where we heard from in the opening game. I think the furthest point was Denver, Colorado. Closest was probably somewhere here in the stadium. And the bulk of the first game shout-outs from Alabama. Popped up by A.J. Anderson over at first. Brent Honecker camped out to make the catch. And there's two gone. Vinny Basio next. He is walked and singled. The walk came in the second, the single came in the fourth. Back to the plate in the sixth. And if you forget the number, by the way, it's there attached to the scoreboard. Basio lifting that one out of play. Brody Hinton moving to the on-deck circle. Bottom of the sixth, Trojans have 4, 5, and 6 coming to the plate. Jacob Smith, Arwen Burgos, and Brent Honecker. One offering. That got the outside part of the plate. Count goes to 1-2. Wilson and Anderson have already faced Gray here in the sixth. Wilson retired via the strikeout, Anderson with the flyout. Out of the strike zone and the count even at 2. Well, we expect these games to be a little longer time-wise because they are longer inning-wise. And thus the first game took 2:59 to complete. Fouled away and out of play by Basio. And this one is currently at the 1 hour and 45-minute mark. In the top of the sixth. Brody Hinton on deck, 2-2 pitch. Backing up the field at short as Hammonds goes to first, and 1, 2, 3. Go the Wildcats in the top of the sixth.
University of Alabama Online, where legends log in. A tradition of excellence. Decades of experience in distance learning. Empowering students of all ages. More than 90 degree and certificate programs to advance your career. UA Online. Flexible, affordable, legendary. Let your computer be your campus. Visit online.ua.edu.
A reminder to follow us Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. Hope to have some highlights on Twitter in a bit. Of course, you find out what's happening on Facebook. You get scores on Threads. A little smorgasbord on Instagram and TikTok. As that one is fouled away by Jacob Smith. And definitely, we're trying to get to like 4,000 subscribers by the end of the tournament on YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube, there's a subscribe button nearby. If you're not, you can put JockJive Sports in the search engine when you go to YouTube and find us that way. One-two pitch. Knocked down by Davis. And on with a leadoff single is Jacob Smith.
Now you batters number 4, Arwin Burgos.
Arwin Burgos coming to the plate. Shout-out says, doing great, Dalton. Keep grinding. Go Trojans from Leslie Harden. Thank you very much, Leslie. So let's see if that gets our flow of shout-outs coming in. Don't be shy. Arwin Burgos laying down the punt. Davis mishandles, looking to second first. He was looking to see if he had an opportunity to get the lead runner and just dropped it.
Now back for the Trojans, number 27.
Third Bishop State error of the game. Couple of runners on for Brent Honecker. And to mention that Honecker and Smith are in this RBI team leading battle. And Smith just took the lead with a sacrifice fly in the 4th. Now you got Honecker with an opportunity to get back in the thick of things. And now Blue with dirt in the eye. Boy, we had that in the opening game. Playing umpire in the first game. Got an eye full. And now it looks like our umpire in game number 2 will do the same. And I think the umpire at second was the one that was behind the plate previously and was like, dude, I feel your pain. Well, if Honecker is going to, get back into that RBI battle with Jacob Smith laying down the punt, won't. Here's a sacrifice for statistical superiority. Lays down the punt, and it is flicked over by Ward and over the head of Davis. 4th Bishop State error. He was just trying to make something happen at third and threw it over the head of Davis. Smith will come in.
Smith scores on the overthrow.
Burgos goes to third, and Honecker will make his way to second.
Now you batters number 9, Jacob Rosado.
J-Fan Rosado next. Rosado was ground into a pair of 4-3s, one of which brought in a run. Off the mid of Davis, and he'll shoot over to first, won't get the out.
Davis on the play for the first down.
And the umpire is going to discuss. And I don't know if this is a umpire or coach instigated discussion. Looking at the replay, sure looks like they got the call right. And then Rosado was safe over at first. But let's see what the officials decide. Let's slow it down a little bit. Well, the official's discussing, and let's see if it's going to stand. It is. He's safe over at first, and that really appears to be the right call.
Now your batters number 23, Bryce Knox.
Loaded up again. It was loaded in the first and second, loaded in the 6th. And Bryce Knox coming to the plate. And that is being scored as a Rosado base hit. 12th one of the game for the Trojans. As the pitch is outside to Bryce Knox. Knox has walked, homered, and singled. Two pitches missing to Knox. Braxton Piper on deck. I do not see activity in the Bishop State pen, so that would lead one to believe that they've got somebody ready to come in. Two errors and 2 hits loaded up. And Cooper Ward has fixed the pressure on his shoulders with a bases loaded scenario and a 3-0 count. Initially, now 3-1. Knox with 2 RBIs on that home run in the 3rd. They got the outside part of the plate. And Ward battling back. Trojans trying to blow the game open. Up by 4, but with the bases full and nobody gone. Hit towards right field. Fazio will make the catch, tagging from third. Burgos moving up, Honecker and Rosado. RBI number 3 in the game for Bryce Knox.
Now your batter's number 14, designated hitter, Braxton Piper.
And there is one away with Burgos in. And a couple of runners on. Braxton Piper has walked, singled, and struck out. Top of the order awaits on deck. That is Kelvin Ayala. And it's chopped towards Anderson off the mitt. 1 run in, 2 runs in. Safely at first is Piper. And costly Bishop State mistakes. 3 in the inning.
Back to the top of the order with number 12, Kevin Ayala.
5 in the game. And the lead goes to 7. Punted in the direction of Davis at third. Throw over to first. Nope, won't be one. Infield, Ayala single.
Ayala on the bunt single brings up number 1, Jake Hammonds.
Couple of base runners aboard for Jake Hammonds. Hammonds batting .290. He is 1 for 4 in the game. Zach Johnson moving to the on-deck circle. A little bit outside with the opening pitch. That is floated in the direction of left field, but into the Central Alabama bullpen. Here's a shout out to the Govs. Govs will play tomorrow, the number 1 team in the country in Division II baseball. Got a 10 a.m. appointment with one of only 2 teams that beat them in the conference this year, Coastal Alabama North. Of course, they beat North 3 times. Jake Hammonds, 2 home runs, 23 RBIs this year. 1 away, couple of base runners on. And was able to get a piece of it and stay alive. Hammond struck out in the first, singled in the second, reached on a fielder's choice and scored a run in the fourth. Round into a 5-3 in the fifth. Count even at 2. Bishop State, after I guess never being in postseason play, certainly not in Oxford. Got here last year. Back this year. Base hit. Given the green line to go on home is Piper. He will score.
On the hit, an RBI. Brings up number 15.
Turns it into an 8-run lead.
Moody, Alabama, Zach Johnson.
Brings Zach Johnson to the plate. And Coach James Hattenstein out to the bump. Cooper Ward came into the ball game after 4, worked the 5th, and has worked a third of the 6th. Given a vote of confidence with 2 on. 8-run lead, and now the potential game-ending run in scoring position here in the bottom of the 6th. And Bishop State already in a situation where if we go to the 7th, they've at the moment got to get at least 1. Low inside pitch to Zach Johnson. But the Trojans now thinking about not going to the 7th. Johnson 1 for 4. Single in his first at-bat in the first inning, 0 for 3 since. With a ground out to second, to third, and a fly out to center field. He is a .352 hitter. .24 RBIs, 15 extra base hits, the bulk of those doubles. 3-0 pitch. That got the outside part of the plate. 14 doubles for Johnson. One triple, no home runs. And runs the count full at 3-2. Three-2 payoff pitch from Cooper Ward. Johnson awaits. Swing and a miss, and out will go Johnson.
Johnson goes out on strike. Now your batter's number 10, catcher Jacob Smith.
Back to the guy who started off the inning, Jacob Smith. Smith had a single to start things off. Eventually came in and scored a run. That is hit well. Center field up against the wall. 2 runs in, and that's going to end the ball game. 2 RBIs, 3 in the game. Hammonds and Ayala will score, and that should be your ball game. Nobody's walking off the field, but it's a 10-run lead in the bottom of the 6th.
Now your batter's number 4, Arwin Burgos.
And the game is continuing, but there's really not a need. And I think the commissioner, Dean Mivritz, is about to walk out and say, hey, guys, lead's gone to 10. Don't need to continue. That is fouled away. The Mercy rules are 10 and 8. 10 after 5, 8 after 7. We are in the 6th, which is after 5, and the lead by the home team has gone to 10. So there's not a need to go further. And I guess this, since the at-bat has started for Arwen Burgos, will be an official at-bat. He has gone 2 for 4 in the game with a couple of singles, an RBI, and 2 runs scored. But I think after this at-bat, and yeah, Dean Myrick is down talking to Bishop State. He's sharing the info. 3-1 the count. And I think Dean is trying to get the officials' attention. So I don't know if we are going to strike out this at-bat. And now James Hattenstein is walking over, and I think is going to share the information that the lead is 10 and the ball game's over. And now, there is your indication the game is done.
The ball game is over by virtue of 10-run rule. Your final score, Central Alabama Community College 12.
So you can scratch the at-bat for Burgos. It will not be an official at-bat. Well, let's get all the numbers together. Let you know what happened in this one to bring it to an official end. And I think we got the totals for you. And the game is ended because of the mercy rule, and here are those totals. Bishop State, 6 hits, 5 errors, 6 stranded. And they will get a couple of runs, got 1 each in the 4th and 5th. Central Alabama, a 15-hit attack, no errors committed, 11 are stranded. And that's 2 games in which the winners stranded a lot of runners. Coastal North in the first game left 14 on. Central Alabama in this one leaves 11 aboard. Runs came this way, 3 in the 3rd, a couple of runs in the 4th, and then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 run 6th. And it ends after 6, 2 games in, and the day is done. Tomorrow we started at 10 with Win Central Alabama back at 1 o'clock to take on LBW. Bishop State will be on the diamond at 4, and they'll find out who they play after the Wallace North and Coastal North game. So there you have it. Day 1 in the books. Thanks for watching for the ACC and JockJive. I'm Robert Williamson. So long, everybody.